Well, guys, we are back to another episode of the Liberal Asshole Show, episode 17. So, what are today's topics, guys?
Alright, they are LGBTQ plus discrimination and Vosh's video on Alabama's state government being bigoted against them. We talk about how we became progressives, state and local politics, the ISideWith quiz, Bernie Sanders DSA progressives take over and sweep Nevada Democratic Party elections, corporate Democrats quit, Lula
getting out of Brazil, that was awesome.
Oh yeah. Alright.
The filibuster reform, and then making fun of cancel culture or whatever it was, remember?
Yep.
So I think we all agreed that we were going to do the ISideWith quiz, right? Start off?
Yep. I'm going to start that one first.
Alright, so how about we talk about discrimination of the LGBT community? Oh God!
All right.
So of course this got my attention because Vosh did a video some time ago about discrimination for transgenders in Alabama, I believe it was. Where I gotta find that video at? It was a while ago. And let me go play it. Let me load it up. Thankfully it's not that long. Are you able to hear Vosh? Well, he's not talking yet.
You all are laughing.
Yep, I can hear him.
Alabama Senate votes to make hormone therapy and surgery for trans youth a felony. And you're all laughing.
Oh, God, that's awful.
Yeah.
It's Alabama. What do you expect?
True.
Yeah, you all look like assholes now. Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, this is
Under a
terrible.
new law, trans youth in Alabama could not be treated with puberty blockers, hormone therapy, or surgery. The state Senate voted to make the treatment a felony on Tuesday.
So a felony to
Senators
transition,
voted
guys.
23-4.
Yep, being
to approve the
transgender
measure.
is now a
The
felony in
Vulnerable
Alabama.
Child Compassion and Protection Act. That's how you know you're getting your hardcore, like, social conservatism bullshit right there. Vulnerable Child Compassion and Protection Act. Honestly.
Even though it harms kids.
Yep.
Whenever you get something like that, you know what they're trying to do.
Hey, just like the Patriot Act too, remember?
Yep.
Anyway, you got your bills. The two bills will make it a felony for medical professionals to treat trans minors under the age of 19 with gender-affirming care. Violators, let me be clear about that, under the age of 19. Not 18, 19. Even hitting 18 does not free you from what would you call it, medical abstinence in this state now with regards to trans issues. Now it's 19.
This is awful.
In Alabama, the age of adulthood is 19. Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay.
All right. Violators could face up to 10 years in prison or a $15,000 fine. The
Yeah,
bill
10
also
years in
allows,
prison to
school
transition
staff
in
in the
Alabama,
state
guys.
to parents that a minor
Yep,
perception
10
of
years in
gender
jail for
identity
being
is for sex.
trans.
Essentially, teachers will be required to out trans students.
Oh yeah,
to their
and
guardians,
that
regardless
parents
of
are
whether they're
required to
ready do
out
so.
kids
So this is, and I
who
want
are
to be perfectly
transitioning.
clear about this.
And guess, let's see how many transgender people have been murdered because they've been outed.
Too many.
I am 99% sure it's already happened a couple of times already.
Yep.
Exactly the type of thing that you would expect from something called the Vulnerable Child Compassion and Protection Act, okay? This is just an out and about, just fuck trans people, no reason, no justification, we hate them, they can suffer. That's the gist behind this. The suffering is the point. I wonder what this will do to the suicide rates in Alabama for trans youth. I wonder if this will be a positive or a negative influence.
It'll fucking skyrocket. It's gonna.
Whole thing.
Yeah.
And here's
also remember that it's going to increase the murder rate because there are going to be more than a few people who are going to murder transgender people because they're trans.
Yep, and here's something that also conservatives deny at all costs. Guess what, you idiots? As Fosh has shown, Stice who had showed us, as long as transgender individuals have someone that accepts them, just one person that accepts them for who they are, I think it was suicide rates drop, I think it was by like 15/16. A massive drop.
Wow.
And this is the same argument that you idiots used against gay people, remember? Why should we support the gay lifestyle? It just leads to suicides. The reason why they're committing suicide is because you guys are a bunch of homophobic pieces of shit that won't accept them for who they are. When you actually do accept them for who they are, they don't kill themselves as frequently. It's a massive drop. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And there's nothing wrong with being transgender, you stupid transphobic piece of shit. Oh my fucking god, this is awful.
Yeah, I just figured out that the transgender suicide rate, if everyone, all transgender people had even one person accepting them in their lives, the transgender suicide rate would go from 40% to 2.5%.
That's like a massive drop. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's even lower than average suicide rate for everyone else. That's a massive drop. And then of course, Vosh talked about this too before. Maybe we should talk about the transgenders playing in sports. Cause remember that that stupid fucking woman that was on Preschool. God damn, I can't remember her name. She's like a teen and Vosh cover.
I know who you're talking about, even if I don't remember the name.
For anyone who don't know, this insane teenage woman who honestly is probably brainwashed by her parents in PragerU. A few months ago, whatever it was, she was competing in some triathlon or whatever, and she came in, I believe it was 8th place, and in order to qualify for her state's regional triathlon, she had to qualify 6th place, and she complains, the reason I didn't qualify is because these two women ahead of me were transgender, therefore they had a competitive advantage on me. First off, oh my god, they finished just 2 spots ahead of you. They didn't do much better than anyone else, so fuck off. Stop being a transphobic piece of shit. And I'm sure their times are probably not much better than what you got, so much for an advantage there. And second of all, oh god, we talked about earlier, when it comes to like might not be the best to explain this, although Vosh did help out a lot. When it comes to like transgenders competing in sports, depending on the factors, they could maybe, when it comes to like trans men, women to men, a lot of times they have a competitive disadvantage when they compete in sports. Mm-hmm. Because since they're women, biological women at first, they did not have the testosterone that us men get that make us stronger, and since they're now transitioned to that, they're at a competitive disadvantage. And then when it comes to men to women, some cases maybe there is an advantage, but a lot. I
remember what's his name? Rationality Rules did a video on it. I can't remember specifically which sports he'd said that transgender would definitely be allowed in, and which ones they definitely wouldn't be because that'd be too much of an advantage.
But when it comes to go on.
I was just saying that as I said, I can't remember exactly what they were, but I know one of the running ones was I think it was the short running ones were potentially okay, but the longer ones weren't. I can't remember which one it was, so have to look that up, and I'll try and provide an update next episode.
But as we always know, don't you notice too? Well, when it comes to like transgender individuals, it's always trans women that always gets the complaints. Like never trans men.
Yeah.
But when it comes to male to female transition, when they transition to women, they have the women hormones now in them, and that is a testosterone killer, and that really messes their bodies up a lot to be competitive. So a lot of times, they're either no advantage whatsoever or anything. They might have a competitive disadvantage, like women to men transition. So transgender individuals do not have this giant like competitive edge that women cannot compete in. If anything, they might have a disadvantage. Oh my fucking god! This fucking.
As I said, I'll track down Rationality Rules video. I'll check it. The notes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it in a long time though.
Report back next episode.
Yeah. But it's not like this big fucking deal like conservatives keep making a big deal of. It's just the next wave of transphobia. Since they can't be like openly transphobic like with the bathroom crap, remember a few years ago?
Yeah,
just
I remember that.
Just like before they they had to give up on the gay marriage fight and gay rights and all that crap. Eventually, they're gonna have to give up on this, and they'll find some other excuse to be transphobic until they eventually realize they can't win on being transphobic. This is just fucking retarded. So, Harry, anything you need to say on this? Since you haven't talked at all.
No, yeah, Tim, I agree. It is fucking retarded, and
not only retarded, evil, hateful.
Oh yes, they want transgender people to commit suicide and be murdered.
Yep, fucking awful. So as you were saying,
no, yeah, I agree. Not only is it retarded, but like, it's like, I mean, as you said, like, conservatives eventually they give up on fighting against gay marriage because they lost that fight. But like I mean, obviously they'll never accept trans people because they don't believe in like progress and shit. But like at the same time, like I don't see them stopping though because like unfortunately it's like really fucking like lucrative for them to like be transphobic and make videos about it like online. So I don't like because like there's so many people online who like don't accept like trans people like which they should because they're fucking idiots. Like I mean.
And you know what else, too, that I just remembered? Forgot to mention? Yeah, conservatives, sex and gender are separate, and gender is a social construct. Mind blown again.
Yep.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you two know Blair White, right?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh God. You think that? If you think hearing that name is bad, I don't know if y'all saw this because Vosh and Hannah too covered a video recently. She was on a debate with John Dole, the fucking idiot cunt from Red Ice, and Lauren Boroshenko, whatever her name was, about
God! Oh yes, I saw that.
Oh,
didn't John Doyle call Blair White a pedophile?
No, that was the Red Ice bitch.
Oh, that was the Red Ice bitch.
But anyways,
okay.
They were in a debate on what does the Republican Party need to do to advance forward. Do we need to be more inclusive like Blair White and Boroshenko was? Or, in John Dole and the Red Ice bitch's case, let's be more homophobic piece of shit, and that way we'll win! And, oh god, the Red Ice woman called Blair White the most evil and hateful thing you can think of! It was so cringy watching it! And then Blair White just took it! She just took it and not even defended herself!
She's got no fucking spine! She's a grifting bitch!
Careful, she'll
if she was able to, would have murdered multiple transgender people already.
Yeah, my God, Blair, you are such a terrible. How can you let them do that to you? My God,
because she's a submissive bitch. That's why.
Yeah. Oh my God,
I'm the only real transgender.
Yep.
They don't even accept her.
Yep. As Vosh pointed out to her, and Hannah as well. Oh my God. So, I don't think there's anything else left to say, really, except treat transgender individuals like regular people. There's nothing wrong with them. Jesus fucking Christ, they're not monsters. They're not pedophiles. They're not trying to control your kids or try to beat women in sports and all that. None of that. There's individual people. And you know what, bitch, too? That woman that complained about losing to the, in the, sports thing, in the video she complained, I've worked so hard for my life for this stuff, and here I am 8th place. That's not fair. Bitch, shut the fuck up. I worked hours and hours and hours last year on Adam's Rigs or Rods Monster Truck series. You know what my record was? I spent, hours and hours practicing with him on racing. I went fucking 1-9. Do you hear me fucking complain about that? No, I dealt with it. The best I ever did was 2nd place in freestyle one event. Everyone. You don't think the transgender women that you lost against, you don't think they tried hard? What about the 5 women ahead of you that did better than you and the transgender women? You don't think they worked just as hard as you? Eventually.
And the best part is, remember, the 6th requirement, that means one of the transgender people didn't qualify.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus fucking Christ. Everyone tries their hardest. You're not going to win all the times. It's just unfortunate reality of life.
Yep.
This is just getting ridiculous. I'm sick and tired of this transphobic bullshit. Just remembering how that Red Ice bitch treated Blair White too was just awful. So let's get on to something else. What next topic? Maybe something that we can laugh at. Oh, I know what we can watch. Let's talk about how the Nevada Democratic Party got taken over by DSA.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
So for Amy,
yeah.
and this is gonna be funny too, because for all of you who didn't know, recently in Nevada, the Democratic Socialists of America, which is a really great organization, they actually helped get progressives to overtake the Nevada Democratic Party, and not only that, all the corporate Democrats quit! The rage quit the Democratic Party of Nevada. So now it's taken over by the progressives. Hey, corporate Democrats, what about all that unity, remember? Unity, we gotta unite at all costs to stop Trump and other Republicans. Oh, wait, we won, the progressives won? Nah, we're out of here. Maybe it's not unity that you care about. It's just, you just don't want progressives to take over. And then when we do take over, you rage quit. But hey, I'm not complaining. Thank you for leaving. Now we have a whole state to ourselves, hopefully, as a model for the rest of the country to take over. This is fucking awesome. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
so,
They
good
rage
question. What states do you think would be the next ones we could go? The DSA should target.
Maybe on the West Coast or East Coast that they have the best odds.
Yeah.
Don't think they have much representation in Maryland, unfortunately. I'm trying to think of where else. Harry, anything you want to say about this? This was just too awesome that they rage quitted over it.
Rust Belt,
Yeah, that could work
Ohio,
too.
Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin.
Yep. You there, Harry?
Yeah. Wait, Timbo. So, what exactly happened in Nevada? Like, did they take over the?
They were elected in. They
DNC?
took over all the available seats, sounds like, and the corporate Democrats in the Nevada Democratic Party rage quitted.
No, yeah, but like, did they take over the DNC like seats or the like in the state legislature? What was it? What was it like?
I guess I had to watch the video again because I only read saw the highlights of it. But yeah, they took over a big chunk of the party, or at least maybe the whole entire Nevada Democratic Party, which would be awesome if that's indeed the case. So,
Yeah.
Where do you think maybe would be successful taking over next?
No, I mean, obviously they can go for swing states next, but like, I'd say, like considering how many progressive
Whoa, they swept all 5 party leadership positions.
There we go.
Leadership. Oh,
Yeah, there we go. That could possibly be even better because now they're in control of the entire party, hopefully now, and they can help promote progressives.
Wait, so now they control like the Democratic Party in Nevada then? Like,
I'm reading
Nevada.
up Rational National's video. Nevada Democrats rage quit after socialists win every seat in Nevada.
Wow.
Yeah.
Probably
How
means
awesome
leader.
is that?
Probably means leadership. Yeah. Like.
Yeah. Good riddance. Good. Go away. Don't ever come back because you're all right-wing enablers. Now us progressives can come in and fucking take over and crush the Republicans and actually implement progressive policies, which I know all of you in cahoots with conservatives work together to oppose at all cost.
Yep.
That was a good topic to talk about after what happened with the transgender stuff. So I think we've beaten that topic depth. Now what do you want to talk about?
Lula. Lula.
This one Harry didn't even know about, which I was quite surprised about, Harry. Vlog, do you know about Lula?
Yes, I do.
So for any of you who don't know, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but his nickname is Lula. He was the president of Brazil from 2003 to 2011. He is a fucking awesome president. He fucking built Brazil up from the shithole that was from the dictatorship and the neoliberal crap of the 90s and 80s into the 2000s. Fucking awesome social democracy. Implemented like a awesome welfare state. Everything about Brazil was pretty much awesome at the time. But then after he left, unfortunately, his political party, can't remember its name off the top of my head, unfortunately, it had a lot of corruption in it too, and the last few presidents afterwards had severe corruption with them, and led all downhill, and now, of course, we have Bolsonaro right now. Now, of course,
he's trying to burn the Amazon to the ground and burn the entire country of Brazil to the ground.
But not
so that his corporate buddies could rebuild Brazil into their dystopic dictatorship.
As everyone else, as all of them have done throughout South America, thanks to a lot to America, of course, remember.
Yeah.
But in 2018, he was able to run, but there was some bullshit corruption allegation on him, and he was put in jail for it, and due to their
He was made a political prisoner.
yeah, and due to their laws at the time, laws which prevent people from criminal charges from running for office, he could not run again. But now, recently, he was acquitted of his charges, so now he can run again in 2022 against Bolsonaro. And from what I've seen, just like it was in 2018, he has a very good chance to win. Oh God, yes, please! Anything, get rid of Bolsonaro to replace him with that awesome social democracy that Brazil had a long time ago. Oh my God, that would be fucking awesome. So Harry, now that you know about him, what do you gotta say? I'm actually gonna look up Brazil stuff too, meanwhile, while you talk about it.
Oh, by the way, just before I do, Brazil was the single worst country in its response to COVID-19, even worse than the US.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So anything you have to say, Harry?
Wait, Timbo, so Lula, he's basically like the Bernie Sanders of
Yeah,
Brazil then?
and
Like,
he and Bernie are like buddies, basically.
but, but basically he was... Wait, so he was imprisoned by Bolsonaro for...
No, it was beforehand. It was bullshit
Before,
corruption
oh.
charge that he was acquitted of recently. I had to look it up again. It was like really complicated. Of course, since I'm not in Brazil, I don't know the topic of it. But I know largely it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Because in Brazil, they have two term limits like America, but they have it where you can actually rerun again as long as you have a year away. So even though he was president for 8 years, he can actually run again for another 8 years. So can you imagine if Lula, for another 8 years, to rebuild Brazil from the shithole that's been since when he left, and Bolsonaro especially? Oh, that would be so awesome! And then hopefully, he could be used, just like we did in the 2000s, as a hallmark for actual progressive policies. See that South America? That's what happens when you follow social democracy. Figures. Maybe also Bolivia, too, after what we did to them, and then they got their own government back from our coup.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Hopefully he succeeds. And please, Brazilians, if you're watching this, please vote for him. He is fucking awesome. If any of you are around my age, I'm sure you all grew up with how awesome his policies were. Wouldn't you like to have that again? I'm sure you probably would. So please vote for him. Jeez. So now, what do y'all want to talk about next?
We're at an hour and a quarter so far, so I'm thinking maybe one more topic, and we'll hold the rest for next week due to how long the ISideWith quiz took.
I think we can maybe go through these pretty quickly.
Yeah. Wait.
But what do you want to talk about next?
Filibuster, maybe?
You mean filibuster reform? Okay, Harry, since you brought it up, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, there's been talk, like, in the news about the filibuster, because, like, as you guys know, like, the filibuster makes it so that, like in America at least, you need 60 votes to, like, pass anything, so, and unfortunately, the way it is now, like, anyone could just say I'm filibustering without actually filibustering, which means they don't have to, like, talk for, like, 14 hours straight. They could just, like, say we're filibustering and, like, basically, like, prevent any like progressive legislation from like going through.
Yeah, not to interrupt, but Kyle covered a video about this because now Biden now supports reforming the filibuster after being against it at first. He was doing an interview.
Yes, he flipped on that.
He was doing an interview with some news agency, and they pointed out to him, or maybe it was him that mentioned it, but from I believe it was 1960 to 2010, there was only like a few dozen filibusters or so, but since 2010, it's been like 200. It's a massive increase, mostly because of Republicans, of course. But yeah, it needs to be massively reformed.
Yes. I remember Bernie did a 8-hour filibuster during the Trump presidency.
And what was that for?
I can't remember specifically, but I just remembered it stuck in my head because it went for 8 hours, and I was like, "Jeez, Bernie, how did you get that going for that long?"
Well, if you think that's incredible, I'll tell you something why the filibuster still is needed, because I haven't seen a lot of progressives actually think we should get rid of the filibuster completely. It has a need, and I'll tell you this. Do any of you remember Wendy Davis?
Vaguely.
For all of you who don't know, Wendy Davis was a Democratic politician in Texas. She ran for governor in 2014. Unfortunately, she lost. But in 2014, she did, I believe, a 24-hour filibuster to prevent their government, their legislator, from passing a very draconian abortion law. And they tried to fuck her over so many times, and she succeeded to prevent them from passing it.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, we gotta look that up again. I don't know if it was a whole day, but it was definitely longer than 8 hours like Bernie. I'm going to look that up. But yeah, that is definitely what the filibuster is needed for, to prevent shit like that from happening. So we got to say about that, you two.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I could actually imagine someone being like, and now the only reason I can't continue my filibuster is because, as you can hear, I am losing my voice. So I can actually imagine. So like, say there's, go to there, AOC starts hers. Her voice goes out. She's like, all right, your turn, Ilan. And then Ilan goes. And then her voice goes out. And then Rashida takes over. And then a couple others take over. And then by then AOC's voice is recovered. So she goes again. And they just do it so long that it's like, fuck this. I'm out. I'm not putting the legislation through.
Still trying to follow up. So Harry, anything to say?
No, for the record, I think the filibuster, it's only the Senate, it's not in the House, but I'm mistaken. And also, wait, Timbo, but like, you're not, no, I don't know, but like, no, Timbo, but like, it's not, I don't know, it's like, I mean, yes, you prevent shitty things from happening, but you can also prevent like progressive policies like Medicare for all or like a New Deal from happening. So, I mean, like, the Senate's already undemocratic as it is, so why the fuck would you make it more undemocratic by like mandating that anything needs to get like 60 votes?
I didn't say I said reform the filibuster, so it needs to be more like what Wendy Davis did.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be, I mean, it could be reformed, like, meaning make it again so they actually have to talk, because like as of right now they don't have to, I think. So I mean,
and I looked up, it was 11 hours.
Oh, nice.
But that's still a long time. Longer than Bernie,
That
too.
is.
Especially when they tried to fuck her over and stop her so many times, too. So as you were saying, Harry?
yeah, so I mean, definitely you could reform it, but like, no, you could reform it, but at the same time, but at the same time, I mean, we live in a really fucking like partisan era, so like you don't, like in the Senate, like if you're gonna need 60 votes for anything, you're never gonna get anything through, like especially Medicare for all, like or living wage or free college in the future. So, so partially I'm for, like, I'm honestly for getting rid of it, because like the Senate's already undemocratic as is. So why the fuck would you make it more undemocratic by keeping the filibuster? Which is why you eliminate the filibuster, so you actually pass Medicare for all in a much easier sense, because if you have it, you're gonna need 60 votes, and you're never gonna get Republicans like vote for it for Medicare for all, for example. Just saying. So, I mean, it's really
At the same time, though,
complicated.
At the same time, though, you need it, in particularly a case like Wendy Davis. Could you point out there's times where it could be used to hurt progressives? There are times like when Wendy Davis where it helps. So it depends on the issue.
Well, yeah, it does depend on the issue. But wait, so was that in Texas or?
Yeah. All right. So next topic. Let's see. Maybe wait.
How far are we in, by the way?
Wait, cancel.
123. I'm thinking maybe one more. Fuck it, I want to go cancel culture.
All right, then. So what particular you want to talk about?
Oh god, where was the cancel culture one?
Maybe we can make.
It's all what do you think about this? Where was it? What did we go for cancel culture? Oh, all the recent ones that Republicans have been whinging about.
Yeah.
And then we've gone maybe one or two of the recent silly ones from the other sides, and also actual cancel culture.
Yeah. So, of course, the cancel culture crap. Recently, a lot of it's been talking about Mr. Potato Head, Dr. Seuss, and I think a couple other things. Well, when it comes to both the Mr. Potato Head and Seuss, they're doing it they're not being forced to do it. They're doing it based upon market demands. They think they can sell more. And in Dr. Seuss' case, they don't sell those books as much, so they think it'd be better not to sell them. So it's not really they're not being forced to do it. Even by progressives, they're not facing like some sort of liberal like outrage to do the changes. They're doing it on their own. So to blame Democrats and progressives for this is silly. If anything, you should blame capitalism for that. But I know you'll never blame that, of course, because that's just a god.
They never will.
Now, so we all got. I don't think any of us probably care about the Mr. Patelhead one because all this is just renaming the brand. It's not renaming the character itself.
Again, a capital decision for capitalist reasons.
But what about the Dr. Seuss one, though?
Okay, so if I remember this one correctly,
they stopped. They
Dr.
stopped.
Seuss made a decision to pull 6 of their over 40 books from sale.
Because they were racist, that's why.
It had
Racial
sensitive
stereotypes.
content in it, like racist content.
Yeah, they were racist, yeah.
Yeah, mostly it was that. I think there was also a couple of homophobic things in there as well. It was not great.
But do you support it though?
I mean, if they want to, yes. I'm kind of on the fence about it, honestly. Like if you can do it like Mein Kampf, where if I remember correctly with Mein Kampf, the first bit they did a thing for explanation of
A disclaimer, you mean?
Hitler's state of mind at the time.
Yeah, because I actually agree with Vosh on this, that I don't think they should stop selling it, but instead, it'd probably be better to put a disclaimer on, because you're not going to really stop people from wanting to read it or anything by not publishing it. Just keep publishing them and just have a disclaimer if it's that big of a deal. Like,
That's what I've heard. That's what they might be doing, but I'm not sure on that.
No, yeah, but no Timbo.
Because
at the same time.
Warner Brothers and a couple other places do that for like their older cartoons and shorts.
Yeah,
where they explain like a whole bunch of like during World War II, like a whole bunch of Looney Tunes and crap, or like usually a whole bunch of like anti-Japanese sentiment because of World War II. They put a disclaimer that this does not reflect our culture now. They were wrong then, they are wrong now, but we're still going to show them anyway because just to show you how it was. And of course, if people want to watch it or read it, they should be able to.
Yeah.
So Harry, what you were saying?
No, Timbo, I agree that people should read whatever the fuck they want, but at the same time, what you have watched, like, obviously, forget is that, obviously, as of right now, a private company is allowed to, stop releasing their own books, which have racist, depictions on them or, and stuff, so... I mean, I don't know. I guess I support their decision because, those books, they have some racist, they had some racist shit in there. So at the time, they were not racist, but now, obviously...
Well, they were racist then. It's just no one gave a shit.
No,
because that was the common sentiments at the time.
Yeah, of course they were racist at the time, but, at that time, it wasn't as racist as it is now. Because, now it's 2021. Back then, it was, the 60s or 50s or whatever the fuck. So it wasn't as, as bad, but I guess it's important, but because it's racist, but yeah, I do agree that people should read whatever they want, but it's
I prefer them just keeping them published and have a disclaimer instead, like other places have done. But hey, conservatives, like I said, this is capitalism's work, not us. Yep. So if they don't want to blame anything,
the Jews.
Yep. So then, of course, we got to point out the cancel culture from other sides, too, remember, as Vlog mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they
actual cancel culture, too.
Yep. Such as canceling people for opposing Israel genociding the Palestinians.
Yeah. And then, what another one was? What other...
Oh, yeah,
That's the big one, is support for BDS and opposing Israel, the far-right Israeli government genociding the Palestinians.
Yeah, that's where the left is getting censored by both the left and the right too. But of course, both conservatives and neo-lib Democrats deny at all costs or support it. Like, fucking God, they're stupid fucks. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, because there are many issues where the right are cancel culture on. Hey, like the transgender and athletes too, like we mentioned earlier. Yeah, that's a huge one. I'm trying to think of oh yeah, they're making a big deal about like COVID vaccines now too. Remember? Oh, God.
Of course.
Like Tucker.
Oh, they were doing that with COVID anyway, depending on which conspiracy theory you believe.
Like Tucker.
The idiots believed it was either a leftist hoax, a pandemic thing which had evolved into a 2030 version of Alex Jones's Agenda 21 from the 90s and 2000s.
Or the llamas that he brought in the studio.
Or a Chinese bioweapon.
Oh, yeah, like another one too. Just Mike from the Hughes report covered earlier, like Newsmax having a big deal about gay characters in Marvel universe and stuff like that.
Oh god! Remember when No Bullshit did his video on SJW moments in Infinity War?
Yep.
And he was complaining about how there was a giant dwarf, and it was like, and I think that dwarf little person representation will be just the sort of thing that a regressive, liberal, anti-ableist SJW would support.
I still remember how stupid when he said Misty was white. Remember that?
Oh God, yes. I should probably point out at this point that out of all the major characters, prior to Generation 5 in the main games, there are a whole 2 white people, Lieutenant Surge and Bantina. Everyone else is Asian.
But of course, that shows how little he knows about Pokemon.
Remember, No Bullshit is basically brain dead. He doesn't have any knowledge about anything.
Careful, he might scream you're ableist or something.
Well, that's why I don't like responding to it, because I feel like I'm being ableist if I'm responding to someone who's brain dead.
Oh my God. But we gotta say about cancel culture itself, like the concept. Maybe as like the final topic on it.
Is there legitimate cancel culture on both sides of the aisle? Yes. But the way that the right go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about it is,
and also over stupid shit.
Pathetic.
Yeah, and over stupid shit too.
Mm-hmm.
And then they blame us for it when we have nothing to do with it.
Of course. That's all they've got.
I can't really think of anything else to say on it. What about you, Harry?
Yeah, pretty much I agree with Kyle that like cancel culture is like that it is bullshit, but like I also find it hilarious how I'm sorry?
Another thing too, Kyle mentioned too, it's also a distraction from the main focuses too, remember?
Yep.
It is, yeah. I agree with Kyle that's a distraction. There's more important issues to worry about than cancel culture, but at the same time, I find it hilarious how like conservatives like scream cancel culture whenever like Dr. Seuss or Mr. Potato Head or fucking like you know affected, or when it's SJWs who support like banning cartoon characters like Speedy Gonzales and Pepe Le Pew because they're like they're racist and like and fucking
that's silly too.
Yeah, it is dumb. Like I agree. Like I mean, you shouldn't. I mean, there's cartoon characters. They're not harmful. So why the fuck would you want to?
They're fictional characters. They're automatically not harmful. Come on, Jesus Christ. All right, I still really want to talk about those last 2 topics. You all want to try and talk about them?
We're at an hour and 35.
We could squeeze them in.
I don't think it would take probably that long. Maybe we talk about about our local politics. That'll probably be quick.
Okay.
So statewide
we're currently run by the Liberal Party. which is actually our conservatives.
Yeah, for all of you don't know too, outside of America, usually liberal parties are actually the right-wing parties. Usually, usually the left-wing parties are like Labour parties, like in Australia, for example.
Yes.
Yep.
So
he's currently trying to sell the rest of our public transport system. I think it's our buses that are already privatized, and they're pretty not great. The trains and trams are still in public thing, but they're not going to be much longer if Stephen Marshall gets his way.
And who is he? Like your equivalent to a governor?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about like, what's the strongest political party? Well, you said like Liberal Party in your area, right?
Yeah, Liberal and Labour are our main two.
But what's stronger, or is it like a swing?
It kind of swings.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get the stuff up.
What about?
I think ours is. I'm gonna check.
What about like your representation? Like
okay, so ours in the lower lead is currently 23 Liberal, 19 Labour, 5 Independent.
Do those independents
they are?
Do the independents swing anyway? Like Bernie caucuses with Democrats, you know that.
Yeah, I know. It depends, but usually they'll side with the Libs on some issues and some with Labour on others.
But it sounds like still like a liberal majority. That's not good.
Hang on. I'm going to count this out. 19 and 5 is 24. No. Our Liberal Party is technically in minority.
Huh.
But it's got a plurality, so as they've got 23 seats and you need 24 for a majority.
Okay.
In the Legislative Council, it's a dead split between Liberal and Labour. We've got 1 independent, 1 advanced SA. I don't even remember what they believe. 2 seats for the Greens and 2 for SA. SA Best, which was Xenophon.
And what about?
Oh, okay. Okay. He's one of the politically centre ones. So, the advanced SA one, they're more centre politically. They're kind of like the Centre Alliance.
And what about the views in your area? If you know what I'm talking about.
My areas... My specific area is probably a mix of left and... Probably a mix of left and right. That's why the Parliament's so divided. Though they're not particularly partisan at the moment. Like, it's not really bad like it is in some other states. Yeah, we get things done. There are things that go well, things that don't.
All right, then what about you, Harry? How's life in your part of Cyprus?
Oh, no, I mean currently, like, no, because Cyprus hasn't, because like obviously because Cyprus has an open list proportional representation system. There's like 8 political parties in our parliament here. So which each has like either 3 or 2 seats, or like the majority parties have more 15 or 20 seats, and currently in Cyprus we have a conservative president who's not for conservative he's not that bad. He's pretty much like a centrist Democrat, like in American standards, and his party had the majority back in 2016, but in Parliament, but then they lost it in the 2016 elections, and currently there's an opposition government, and obviously the next election, it's gonna be soon. It's actually going to be in May, like late May in Cyprus. So like for Parliament, and then for President in 2023. But like, so yeah, like I guess I'm like, well, I guess I'll see like who's gonna have like the majority in the next government. So yeah.
What about
And,
like, what was that?
huh?
Was that referring to the entire country or referring to your state area?
I know the entire country because like Cyprus, like
What about
Cyprus is a.
what about
Sorry?
what about your area though? Don't you have like governors, like a congressional stuff like that?
Actually, because Cyprus actually a unitary state, so no, we have no states, or governors, but we do have like mayors for each like
Oh,
town
okay.
and city. Um, so
Well, it's also
So-
because your population's tiny. Like, you literally have less people in Greek Cyprus than we do in Adelaide, and we're considered a smaller city in Australia.
no, yeah, which is why Cyprus is a unitary state as opposed to like a federal like republic with like governors and states like America and Australia. So yeah.
What about local politics then? Like, what do the people feel like out there?
Oh, no, like in my area, it's like like in my town, it's like a mix of, um, um, it's like a mix of people who vote for the center right conservative party and for the the main like left wing Labor Party, but and obviously our city council has only like 10 members on it because we're like a small town basically, and our mayor's base is currently like before him it was actually before him we had like this like Labor Party type of mayor, but like currently we have a center right conservative mayor, and so yeah, like in my area is like mixed, so it goes back and forth every 5 years when there's like a mayoral election and stuff. Yeah.
So, of course, where I'm in Maryland. Maryland's an overwhelmingly Democratic state. Biden won it by like 33 points, to put that into perspective. Now, despite that, we have a fucking Republican governor, Larry Hogan, who's a fucking piece of shit. Now, we have eight congressmen, 7 of them are Democrat, 1 of them Republican, which unfortunately Andy Harass is my representative, and we have 2 Democratic senators. 1 of them's a piece of shit. And of course, where I'm on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. Fucking Maryland, the center of Maryland is where all the left, the liberals are at, like near Baltimore and D.C. But then when you're out here in the Eastern Shore, out here, they're both either rich elite pricks or religious fundamentalists. And then you go out to Western Maryland, oh god, it's nothing but religious fundamentalists out there. So that's the situation it is for me, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
All right.
let's maybe talk about how we became liberal.
Well,
Yeah.
progressive, yeah.
All right, to wrap that up, so how about you 2 go? Or maybe I should go, since I've already talked about it before. That might be quicker.
Yeah, you go quickly first, then we'll go.
Yeah, for me, I've mentioned pretty much when we talked about in episode 2 or 3 how we became atheists. How I became liberal is pretty much the same way. I grew up for any of you my fellow Monster Trucks fans that are watching, it might be conservatives. Back when I was your age, in the mid and late 2000s, I grew up during the Bush years. Oh god, be happy you were a kid or probably not even born at that time. Let's see, he allowed 9/11 to happen on his watch, did 2 illegal wars, botched the response to Hurricane Katrina, the Great Recession, all that. Oh, and by the way, pushed religious fundamentalism and social conservatism against the gay community, which is actually a big reason why millennials around my age became atheists, because we didn't like how they treated LGBT community. So that was largely its social issues. I did not like conservatives trying to tell like women you can't have abortions, telling gays you can't get married, telling blacks they can't have civil rights and all that, and of course trying to control things that we like the video game industry, like fucking, do you remember Jack Thompson, like with The Sims, GTA, before Anita Sarkeesian and all that? Oh god. So that's pretty much how I became a progressive, mostly for the socialists, and then very soon after became a progressive and economic as well. So that's pretty much me. So now you two?
Okay, so for me, I never really got very far down the anti-SJW pipeline. Like guys like Ben Shapiro, Stefan Molyneux, Lawrence Southern, and all them just felt really bad to me. And so I never really listened to them. I think Blair was the worst I went to. But I listened to Kyle and all of them. They slowly pulled me away. I think who did I discover first that really pulled me left? I think there was Sean and H Bomber guy that pulled me a little bit left, and then I eventually ran into Destiny and then Vorsh, and that just pulled me completely out of the anti-SJW thing. Like I was always progressive to some degree. I guess it was just the social stuff and the reactionary anti-SJW politics that was changed for me.
But what about like personal, like for me? Or was that just it?
Pretty much me.
Alright, then Harry?
Wait, so obviously compared to you guys, I'm a little younger, but like, I was born the year 2000, so basically, how I became progressive. So basically, up until 2014, like I was pretty much apolitical, like because my parents, they're also apolitical, like they're not that progressive or conservative. They're like pretty much apolitical, but like up until 2014, I didn't follow politics. I didn't watch like any progressive YouTubers or anything like that. So I didn't know anything about politics back then. If you asked me, I wouldn't know shit. But like, and um, but like in 2015 though, like at the time I was still in Cyprus. Like I was obviously, I was obviously 15 years old back in 2015. Um, like I heard there was a presidential election in America that year, and like when I was 15, I would watch parts of like the Republican debates and parts of the Democratic debates, and I I I obviously I would listen to Republicans, and I would laugh at Trump because he was like fucking hilarious in the debates, but then I would like listen to Bernie, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's different. He sounds nothing like other politicians I've ever seen. So I would listen to Bernie, and I like what he said, like about like progressive economic policies and about like bringing change to America and stuff. And um, and after I discovered who Bernie was back in 2015 when he ran for president, obviously before I didn't know him, um, I would go on YouTube and like search politics, and of course that's where I finally discovered who Kyle is, and I watched all his videos. And he explained the election, like Bernie's position, to who he agrees more with and stuff. And obviously from Kyle, I would watch Jimmy Dore, TYT, like Sam Cedar, um, even David Pagman sometimes. And that's how I got into progressive like YouTubers, progressive commentators, and 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 after that, I met you guys on Discord, and we would talk about politics more, and we started last. So um, so yeah, pretty much I got into politics because of Bernie, obviously. So which is why Bernie will always have a special place in my heart. But like after Bernie, I discovered Kyle, and pretty much I listened to Kyle's views, like on economics, on religion, on social issues, and because I grew up with a political parents, and like I did not grow up conservative or progressive, I really liked what Kyle said, and so because I heard all of his views, and then from Kyle I would listen to like what conservatives sing and stuff. Um, I pretty much like I identify as progressive today because I really liked what Kyle said, and 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 basically, I would always listen to other to TYT, Jimmy Dore, like David Pagman, Sam Cedar, and I would listen to their progressive views, and pretty much like I agree with almost everything that's said, which is why I'm progressive today. But it's mostly pretty much thanks to Bernie and Kyle. So yeah.
And that's the case for a lot of people your age. It's Bernie. Which is why Bernie, even though unfortunately he didn't win both times, he is definitely going to be a very powerful voice for a long time. Hopefully we can actually win next time. Everywhere else.
Yeah.
We've done this is the 4th quiz that we've done for the show because we find them so interesting. This is called ISideWith. This has been around since 2016, I believe. It's been updated every few years, and it's mostly more based upon American politics, like presidential candidates. I've done it numerous times before, always ended up with Bernie, no shit. And this one is actually better because not only does it have yes and no options, it has more options for you to add on, and you can even write in your own option, too, of what you think on that. So that sounds very interesting. So are you two ready to go?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, so the first topic was, should the U.S. raise taxes on the rich? No shit, duh!
Oh.
I'm looking up all the reforms, though.
Oh wait, Timbo, mine's in a different order. I can't.
Oh, really? It's economic issues start with me, but yes, raise tax on the rich?
Absolutely.
So what's it for you, then?
No, mine's about science issues. Can I do you want me to just find the economic issues or?
Yeah.
Economic are the first on mine.
Yeah. Did you get the right link?
No, yes. Actually, Timbo, I just found economic issues. Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, goody.
Alright, so the first question was, should the U.S. raise tax on the rich? I'm sure we all agree on that.
Yes.
And then the next one, should the government raise the federal minimum wage? Let's go.
Yes.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I see yes and make it a living wage on here, or yes and adjust it every year according to inflation.
Yep, that's what I would agree with.
Many options. Yeah. There's.
Sucks you can only pick one, though, because those two are both needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you support a universal basic income program, UBI?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, everyone should receive an income to cover basic necessities, including food and housing. Show more
Yep.
economic questions. Should welfare recipients be tested for drugs? No.
No.
No means tested. Should there be
Yeah.
fewer or more restrictions on current welfare benefits? No, if anything, fewer.
Yeah.
But they're
not
getting
good
more
with
strict
viewers.
each time. Blame Republicans for that one.
Yep.
Do you believe labor unions help or hurt the economy? They help.
Help. Yeah. Help.
Duh.
Absolutely no.
Should the U.S. raise or lower tax rates for corporations?
Raise.
Yeah, raise.
Raise.
And of course, we point out this before because all the idiot Republicans always say the U.S. has the highest corporate tax rate in the world. That's nominal. That's not effective. The effective corporate tax rate is the lowest in the world for America. And corporations a lot of times are paying no taxes and negative taxes, for God's sake. So yeah, it
Yep.
needs to be raised, you fucking idiots. Should
Yes.
employers
Yep.
be required to pay men and women the same salary for the same job?
Yes. I mean, the same job. So
Yeah.
yes, not different jobs.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, equal pay for equal work. Should business be required to provide paid leave or full-time employees during the birth of a child or a sick family member?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see, I'm looking up all the options.
There's-
Yeah, yes, but the federal government should sponsor this program instead of businesses. Yeah. Especially if it was
Yeah,
like
I'm good with that
small,
one.
especially if there were small
mean-
businesses too.
No,
You
yeah,
know-
I mean you can do both. I mean, but like part of it the federal government, part of it the business. So I mean,
Should the government increase the tax rate on profits earned from the sale of stocks, bonds, and real estate? Yes.
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 Should the government make cuts to public spending in order to reduce the national debt? No.
No.
No, reduce military spending instead.
But that will
Yes.
trigger Republicans, remember?
I don't care. I
Yeah.
love
Fucking
triggering
idiots.
Republicans.
Because they're so stupid. Should the government require business to pay salary employees making up to $46,000 a year time and a half for overtime hours? I guess
Yes,
pay
and
overtime
all
hours?
employees
Yes.
pay time and a half
Yes.
for overtime hours, regardless of their pay scale.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should the government
Yes.
use economic stimulus to aid the country during times of recession? Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Should the U.S. continue to participate in NAFTA? No.
No. No.
Absolutely not.
Or at the very worst, reform it. But I don't think there's any sort of reform that's going to fix it. I know Vosh will be triggered by it, but too bad. Should the government break up Amazon, Facebook, and Google? Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Should the current estate tax rate be decreased? I don't even know the exact
No.
rate though.
No, Tim.
No, that needs to be increased. That's
Yes,
the
yeah.
that's the one. That's the one that taxes people on inheritance.
Yeah, no.
I think it is. Let me look this up. No,
Timbo,
State tax. Is that the one I think
Timbo,
it is?
Timbo,
Yes.
anything it should be
Yes, it
increased.
is.
So.
Yes. Click other options and go no, and increase it at a progressive rate.
Where's the progressive rate? Oh, yes.
Yeah, hit more options. Yeah,
Yeah.
that, since
Yep.
I don't know it exactly off the top of my head. Should U.S. citizens be allowed to save or invest their money in offshore bank accounts?
No,
I'd say
and
no.
not should
I'd say
corporations and
no.
business
Yeah.
organizations.
No, too
No,
many wealthy citizens are abusing loopholes. That's for me.
Yes.
True.
Should the U.S. increase tariffs on imported products from China? Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Vosh will be triggered by that, but too bad. Hey, that's it all for all the economic stuff. Now on to transportation issues. Should the government...
Guys, I want to find it. Like, which one is it?
Transportation issue.
Transportation is next.
Found it. Yeah, transportation.
Should the government increase spending on public transportation? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely yes.
And not only that, have a public option for all the forms of transportation probably too.
Yes, and provide more free public transportation. I see that.
Yeah.
Because there are many
more.
places where public transportation is not available, and a lot of people are fucked in that regard because private does not go there because they don't make money. Should the U.S. build a wall along the southern border?
Wait, which one is that?
Well, transportation only has one issue, so now you gotta go to immigration.
Yep.
It's only, it was
One
it was
issue
only-
for transportation.
I've got an idea for this one.
Should the U.S. build a wall along the southern border?
Where's it?
It's an
that's
immigration.
Found it. Yes.
Unless it is part of a publicly funded infrastructure program to rebuild crumbling infrastructure.
Wait, Timbo, for the wall, did you pick no or something else?
I'm typing pretty much what Vlog said.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You
No,
got
it's just no unless it's a part of a publicly funded infrastructure program to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure.
And immigration
Yeah.
reform too, like we talked about before, remember?
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So there, we had to add our own stances.
Yep.
All right, should illegal immigrants have access to government-subsidized health care? If you're sick, you get help. End of discussion
Yes.
for me, so yeah.
No, yeah, yes.
Should undocumented immigrants be offered in-state tuition rates at public colleges within their residing states? That actually,
Yes.
we voted for that in Maryland back in 2012 as a part of a pathway to citizenship, so yeah.
Yes.
Let's see if they have that option. No. But I'll still say yes regardless. Let's see, more options. Should sanctuary cities receive federal funding?
Fuck yes.
Absolutely.
Should children of illegal immigrants be granted legal citizenship? Yeah.
At some point,
Yep.
yes.
Should local law enforcement be allowed to detain illegal immigrants for minor crimes and transfer them to legal immigration authorities?
Only if
I'd
they're
say
convicted
no.
of a violent
No.
crime?
No, if it's for like non-violent, no. If it's for violent, I mean, yeah.
No,
sure,
only
like-
if they're convicted of a violent crime.
Yep.
Because I don't want like petty things to go to ICE. Oh God, that would be terrible.
No, yeah. If anything, ICE needs to be abolished. If anything.
Yeah.
'Cause
Should
it's
Muslim
unneeded.
Yep.
should Muslim immigrants be banned from entering the country until the government improves its ability to screen out potential terrorists? We already have the best in the
No,
world.
banning immigrants based on their religion is unconstitutional.
Yeah, and racist. Yeah.
And also, we already have the best screen shit in the world, so it's not even a concern. Should working illegal immigrants be given temporary amnesty?
Yes, yes.
They probably should be given amnesty anyway. Should
But that means
immigrants...
yeah.
What?
Wait, so does it mean permanent or just like
It says
anything can be
temporary.
both? It can be both, I guess. Like
Should
temporary.
immigrants be deported if they commit a serious crime? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd say yes, but after they have finished serving their sentence. This is one of the other options.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I'm mistaken.
Yep.
Should immigrants be required to learn English? No, but it should be encouraged.
Yeah, it should be encouraged. Yeah.
Oh, what,
Well, there's
what
yes,
did
but
you
the
say?
government should.
Yes, but the government should provide free language learning courses.
I'm just gonna copy and say no, and add that on. No, but the government should provide free education shit for it.
Yeah. No, I'd say yes, but the government should provide like free language courses, which is like progressive.
It's basically,
like,
yes, but the government should provide free language learning courses.
Yes.
Because unlike I know conservatives won't admit, but guess what? Learning English is not that easy. You try learn a different language and you'll see how hard it is. That applies for English too.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
idiots. Should the
Should
U.S.
the US increase or decrease the amount of temporary work visas given to high-skilled immigrant workers?
I don't probably have an opinion on that, so I guess I'd be satisfied. I'm not sure what the amount is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like normal shit. Like,
Should immigrants to the United States be allowed to hold dual citizenship status? That's you, Harry, ain't it?
no, yeah, actually, I do have like citizenship in Cyprus and America. So yeah, so
I don't
Yes,
care.
you
I'm
are.
gonna.
I just don't care.
Yeah.
I just say yes. Should
Yeah.
the U.S. increase restrictions on its current border security policy? Let's see what the options are.
What are the other options?
I'm looking through them. I probably would just say no, because we already are strict enough as is.
Yeah.
Should immigrants be required to pass a citizenship test to demonstrate a basic understanding of our country's language, history, and government? I mean, yeah, but at the same time, you see how bad native citizens fail it too, remember?
No, Timbo, no, I agree, but it's already the case that like you have to take a test in order to get any.
Yeah, that is the case.
Anywhere, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Should there be a temporary ban of all immigration to the United States? No.
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 Yes, though a lot of natural-born Americans will fail it anyway.
That's true. So that's it for the immigration. Now off to education, if you could find Harry.
Should there be a temporary ban? No, absolutely not.
Wait, and here I said?
Where's it?
I said, should there
Where's
be a
it?
temporary ban on all immigration to the United States?
Yeah. So I wrote no.
Yeah.
No. Where's immigration? Education. I gotta find.
Education issues.
Now look for education, Harry.
No, yeah, I'm trying to find it because it's mixed up.
Still find weird how it's mixed up for you, but it's just fine for me in vlog. That's weird.
Just
Yeah.
found it. Education. Yeah.
You found it?
Education. Yeah.
Do you support increasing taxes for the rich in order to reduce interest rates for student loans? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Should the federal...
Oh, yeah, I see it. Yes, and increase government funding so every student receives a free college
Hey, that's even
education.
better. Let's do that
Oh,
one.
yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Should the federal government pay for tuition at four-year colleges and universities? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Should critical race theory be taught in 12K education?
Wait, what exactly is this? What-
That's... It's probably too complicated. Vosh did a little bit of a good job to explain. Basically, it's explaining, like, systemic racism. Although a lot of, like, leftists do not do a really good job at explaining. Of course, the right pounced on it.
Okay.
No, but Timbo, in my opinion, you should.
So on
No,
that one, well, that's the thing. Systemic racism is a pretty complicated topic.
No, but it
So
does
you-
exist though.
Yeah, it does
Probably-
exist. We don't deny
That
that.
wouldn't be. I'd say that wouldn't be something little kids would be able to understand.
Yeah.
It'd probably need to be a bit older.
No, but you should teach it in high school though. Like,
Yeah, I notice in other stances, yes, but not until they're teenagers.
that I agree with actually. Yes, but not until they're teenagers. Yeah, that's fair. Like,
Because around then would probably be when they'd understand, start being able to understand.
Yeah, I mean,
that.
God, even a lot of people don't even understand. Since that's like a new concept that we just heard about. So even we don't even fully understand. It had to be properly
Don't
explained
forget
better.
that 90% of pretty much the entire right wing have strawmanned critical race theory.
Oh, yeah.
And then
No,
about 30%
no, but the-
of them have taken critical race theory and stuck it into their anti-Semitic conspiracy theory.
No, but the problem is, that the right wing they deny no matter what. So that's why you have to teach it in high school in order to like combat their fucking lies. Like
Yeah, but at
they're
the same
fucking
time,
lies.
it needs to be explained properly, though, because that's a big problem.
Yeah.
No, yeah, which is why you teach it to high school kids and not like younger kids.
Should
Like,
the federal
'cause
should the federal government fund universal preschool? Ain't
Yes.
that already the case?
Apparently not.
not Timbo, it's not the case federally. It's only the case in some states and some cities, in America at least. So yeah.
Should-
As if I remember correctly, there are some states where nothing is public.
No, for example,
Access.
in New York City, like pre-K is free because like De Blasio did a program which was progressive and helped the poor people, but at the same time, like some states they do nothing which is why you need like a federal like program for that. So yeah.
Should K-12 schools reopen for in-person learning?
If they can do it safe, if they
um,
can do it safely,
additional
then yes.
options.
But if they can do it safely, sure. But if not, then it's kind of risky.
Yes, but only offer choice between online and in-person. Yes, but only vaccinated students should be allowed to attend.
Which one?
I'd probably go with the top one, because even if people are vaccinated, people are probably going to be still concerned for a while.
Yeah.
And plus, people probably would rather stay home and learn, too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you support Common Core national standards? Yeah.
Yes.
Do you support charter schools? No.
No.
Should the government decriminalize school truancy?
No, we should focus on improving our public schools and increasing teacher wages instead.
Ooh, even better option. But anyways, next one. Should the government decriminalize school truancy?
This is the Cop Mala thing. This is what Cop Mala did. So remember, she actually made it illegal for to be truants.
Wow.
Truancy illegal. So
That's pathetic. But yeah, it should be decriminalized. It's not that big of a deal. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Should the government offer students a voucher so they can use to attend private school? No.
no, we should
No.
focus on improving our public schools instead.
Yep.
Yes.
Should there?
Wait,
Hey, now we're off to domestic policies now.
Oh wait, domestic. I gotta find that shit. Oh.
Well, the first bunch are involving guns, so when you get to it,
Wait. Which
domestic policy issues.
domestic policy? Where?
Is there a Control F option or something like that on phones?
I found it. Domestic policy.
Oh, okay, here we go. Should there be more restrictions on the current process of purchasing a gun?
Absolutely.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't mind like a few restrictions.
Yeah, here we go.
Yes, require strict background checks, psychological testing, and training.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Should teachers be allowed to carry guns at school? No.
No.
Should victims of gun violence be allowed to sue firearm dealers and manufacturers?
That's interesting. I mean, I don't know. Like on the one hand,
No.
it makes sense. On the other hand, it doesn't. I don't know. Like,
I'm with Bernie on that. He said no because you can't really, unless it was like if they sold guns to people knowingly that they have like mental issues or something like that. Yeah, but if they don't know and something happened years later, you can't really hold them responsible for it. Just like someone causing an accident with a car, you can't really sue car manufacturers for that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess not.
It's gotta be based on the
Next one on the
circumstances.
list is, do you support affirmative action programs?
Regardless, we should create more social programs to address poverty.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Another option they should probably add is yes, but focus more on class instead of race, like I said before. Are you in
Yeah.
favor of decriminalizing drug use? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Should it be illegal to burn the American flag? Hey, I love
Yes,
freedom,
yes.
so the answer is no, obviously.
Definitely not. That's a free speech issue.
Yeah, it is.
Should the Supreme Court be reformed to include more seats and term limits on judges? That's definitely
we
a new
could've-
one.
I'm sorry.
That's a new one from last time I checked. So let's see the options.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's yes and no. There's yes, but only reform to include more seats or term limits on judges. No, Supreme Court should not be politicized. No, reforming the Supreme Court is unconstitutional and would upset the balance of power.
I'd say yes. Because it definitely needs to be reformed. Do you support the Patriot Act? No.
No.
No, and pass strict laws prohibiting government surveillance without probable cause and a warrant.
Yep. Should people on the no-fly list be banned from purchasing guns and ammunition? I can't remember who covered before, but I believe I heard from some progressive YouTuber that they sometimes put people on the no-fly list for, like, no reason whatsoever, so it probably would need to be reformed before you just outright say no.
Yes, but not until the no-fly list screening process.
Yeah, there we go.
Accuracy and includes due process.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should the government be allowed to seize private property with reasonable compensation for public or civic use?
No, for this one, I'd say if the government pays you for it, maybe, but at the same time, like, civil asset
Maybe
forfeiture
yes.
is
I think I got one. Yes, as long as landowners are fairly compensated and the projects will benefit the community.
Yeah, that's a good one. But at the same time, civil asset forfeiture needs to be fucking banned because it's unconstitutional. Yeah.
Should the government grant immunity for Edward Snowden? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Fucking love that guy. Yeah.
Should the government regulate social media sites as a means to prevent fake news and misinformation? No.
No.
No, the government should not determine what is fake and real news because they're going to have a massive bias. We know that.
Yeah.
Should social
just look at Russia today. Maybe not Russia so much Russia today, but Sputnik definitely.
Should social
one of those two is just about a media company that's a front for a terrorist organization.
Should social media companies ban political advertisement?
No, I mean, you can advertise like any political ads anywhere. So why? Like, why would they ban it? Like,
and there's only yes or no, or just add your own stance. I'll say no.
Yeah.
Should the military upgrade Air Force One?
There's no need to upgrade it. Like, I mean, we already spent so much fucking money in the military.
Should internet service providers be allowed to speed up access to popular websites at the expense of slowing down?
Absolutely not.
No, that's why we need net neutrality.
No, treat all traffic equally and continue the openness of the internet.
Yep. Should local police increase surveillance and patrols of Muslim neighborhoods?
No. It's fucking racist. No. And it's just like, just wrong.
Should there be a term limit?
No, targeting Muslims is unconstitutional, racist, and incendiary.
Yep. Should there be
incendiary?
Should there be term limits set for members of Congress?
I'm kind of mixed on this. Like, on the one hand, it makes sense, but on the other hand, if you're progressive and you help people, then you shouldn't be like term limited, like out. That's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of mixed on this.
No, we already have term limits that are called elections.
Yeah.
And honestly, if we did term limits for like Congress, that would have to be like, what's the limit? Because they only have 2-year terms. At least Senate, it's 6 years, so that would have to require like massive they probably would have to allow like 4 terms for like Congress to make sense because 4 years is probably too short. I'm just gonna say no.
Yeah.
They would require
no. Yeah.
Should the NSA be allowed to collect basic metadata of citizens' phones and all that? No.
No.
Only with a warrant showcasing probable cause of criminal activity.
Yep. All right, now off to the electoral issues.
Electoral. Where is it?
Should the Electoral College be abolished? Yes, and switch to a ranked voting system. Basically, kind of like what we've got here in Australia.
Did you find it yet, Harry?
No, I found it. Yeah.
All right, so you saw the Electoral College one.
Yes, just abolish it. Abolish that shit. Yeah.
Should foreigners currently residing in the United States have the right to vote?
I mean, after a few years, maybe.
Yes, but only after living in the country for 5 years.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Should a photo ID?
I'm still answering that one.
Oh, no. Should a photo ID be required to vote? No, and automatically register every citizen to vote when they turn 18.
Yeah, automatic
That's what they
registration.
do in
Yeah.
Australia.
All right, should a Oh, let's see the photo ID option. I would say yes, but only if, remember we talked about before, they have to make it easy for people to get IDs, which of course Republicans are against.
Yeah. No, but Timbo, you have
Yeah.
to like open up
Because
more
they're
places though.
racist.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to. No, Timbo, but you have to open up more places though, like to do that. So I
What?
think it's better to just like but automatically register everyone to vote like when they're 18. Like I think that's better.
Yeah. That would also help too, but of course, guess who's against it? Republicans, of course.
Fucking idiots. Because they're fucking idiots. Yeah.
Should political candidates be required to release their recent tax reforms to the public? Yeah.
Yes.
Should the minimum voting age be lowered?
Yes. It should be 16. Yeah. Now, like there's an argument like that. There's many 16-year-olds who have a lot of information like on their phones and shit. Like, yeah, it should be because like if you're 16, you can drive. You should vote. Like,
should there be a limit to the amount of money a candidate can receive from a donor? Yeah.
yes.
If anything, as I've said before,
should not be bought by wealthy donors.
No, if anything, if anything, we need to ban like private money in politics.
yeah, that's what I was saying. There was remember there was a game I played about like becoming a president, and when you got the nomination for one of the parties, you had either two options. You can either do private fundraising or you get a block from the party of a certain amount of money. That's it for the entire thing. Maybe like a government grant for each political party that can win.
Yeah, basically publicly finance all elections and ban like private money. Yeah.
Should corporations, unions, and nonprofits be allowed to donate to political parties?
No, and political campaigns should be publicly funded.
Yep. Should a politician who has been formally convicted of a crime be allowed to run for office?
It depends on the crime though, but
Maybe yes, as long as they've finished serving their sentence, or as long as it was not a felony, violent, financial, or sexual crime, or what?
Maybe yes. What'd you say?
Huh?
What'd you say, Harry?
I guess yes, as long as it was not a violent crime, I guess, so to speak. So.
Yeah, that's what I picked. Should foreign lobbyists be allowed to raise money for American elections?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Should there be a 5-year ban on White House and congressional officials from becoming lobbyists after they leave the government?
Yes, and make it a lifetime ban.
Yeah. All right, now we're off to environmental issues. God, this is a long one so far. So now we have
environmental.
Should the government increase environmental regulations to prevent climate change? Yes.
Yes, and provide more incentives for alternative energy production.
Yeah. Should the U.S. withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement? No.
Absolutely not.
Did you find it yet, Harry?
No, I'm trying to find it.
Should the U.S. expand offshore oil drilling? No.
No, and provide more incentives for alternative energy production.
Yep. Should the government give tax credits and subsidies for the wind power industry? Yes, and the government should support more sustainable energy technologies.
Yep.
Should drilling be allowed in Alaskan wildlife refuge? No.
No.
Are you guys?
No, and
which one are you on?
Increase alternative energy subsidies to eliminate our dependence on fossil fuels.
What'd you say, Harry?
Wait, on which one?
Environmental.
Which question are you on?
We're on environmental.
No, yeah, but which one?
We've gone through like almost all of them. Did you? Next one is, should disposable products such as plastic cups, plates, and cutlery that contain less than 50% of biodegradable material be banned?
South Australia's done that. We did that recently. In Queensland, we're starting to do that in Australia. South Australia and New South Wales already have. Queensland's going to do April 1. We'll see the same thing happen with Queensland.
All right, so
yes, and ban all disposable products not made of at least 75% biodegradable. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. Should the government stop construction of DAPA? I think Biden did that, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the government should never be allowed to acquire land by eminent domain.
What'd you say?
Yes, and the government should never be allowed to acquire land by
Oh
eminent
yeah, that
domain.
too. That's what I was cringing about earlier when I was asking about buying stuff from people. Do you support the use of fracking to extract oil and natural gas resources? No.
No, we should pursue more sustainable energy resources instead.
Yeah. Should researchers be allowed to use animals in testing the safety of drugs, vaccines, and all that other stuff?
It's kind of unethical, so I'd say no, because like I feel bad for the animals. When they
Yeah.
fucking, like,
But
use
definitely, I
them.
would definitely feel bad, worse for the cosmetics, because there has what's the benefit of that? Yeah, that one's really like I don't feel comfortable with that one. Should cities be allowed to offer private companies economic incentives to relocate?
No.
If anything-
Because like New York City
No,
did that shit.
spend that money on improving infrastructure. and
No,
community
or better yet,
companies.
no, but punish them from moving jobs out of the country. Hell yeah!
Yes.
Make it so no
Yes.
matter what, it's cheaper to stay where you're at, so you're gonna stay where you're at. All right, so that's it for that. Now we're off to the healthcare one.
Yes.
Do you support
Now wait
Obamacare?
for Harry to find the healthcare one, since we don't know where it is for him.
Do you support Obamacare? Yep, but single payer would be
Yes,
better.
but a mandatory single-payer system would be even better.
Yes.
Should the federal government increase funding on healthcare for low-income individuals? Medicaid, yes.
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 Should the government...
Yes, but I prefer switching to a single-payer healthcare system.
Oh, yeah, that... Should the government fund who? Yes.
I'm going to have my own stance.
And what's
Yes, although the WHO does need reform.
Oh, yeah, that. All right, Harry, did you ever found it?
No, yeah, I found healthcare, and I answered the do you support a single payer healthcare system? Yes.
Do you support a single payer healthcare system? Yes.
Yep.
That's the
Yes.
only option I want. Should people be required to work in order to receive Medicaid? No.
No,
If you're sick-
it's hard to apply for a job if you are sick.
If you're sick, you're getting help. End of discussion.
Yeah.
Should there be more or less privatization of the VA? Less.
Less. We should increase funding
Less.
to improve the current system instead.
Should cities open drug safe havens where people who are addicted to illegal drugs can use them under supervision of medical professionals? Yeah.
Yes, drug abuse
Yes.
should be treated as a
Yes.
health issue, not a criminal issue.
Should the government regulate the prices of life-saving drugs? Yeah. Because
Yes,
they're ridiculously
specialized
expensive.
in healthcare.
Yep. Should the federal government be allowed to negotiate drug prices for Medicare? Yes.
Fuck yeah.
That'll cut the cost down immensely. Should the government issue vaccine passports?
Interesting. I don't. How would that work? Like, I don't.
I guess you have to be verify that you had the vaccine.
Maybe for international travel?
I
Yeah.
guess.
Yes, but only for international travel. All right.
Should the government increase funding for mental health research and treatment? Yes.
Yes.
Increase funding for everything, pretty much. Should help.
Yes, our mental health care system needs more funding
Yes.
to provide a higher quality of care and services.
Should health insurers be allowed to deny coverage of individuals who have a pre-existing conditions?
No, it is immoral.
What kind
No,
of
no.
Who would actually?
Pre-existing conditions.
I
No.
can't wait to see how many idiot Republicans would say yes to that one.
You know? Do you support the legalization of marijuana? Yes, and legalize, tax, and regulate
Yes.
marijuana instead of criminalizing it.
All drugs too. All right, now off
Yep.
to science. Should the government require children to be vaccinated for preventable
Science.
diseases?
Yes.
Yes.
They are essential to protecting other children who are too young to be vaccinated or immunocompromised.
So what were you saying, Harry?
Where are you guys on?
Science.
Science issues.
Science issues.
Should do you support the use of nuclear energy?
No, we should invest in cleaner alternatives such as wind, hydroelectric, thorium, and geothermal.
Yeah, I agree.
I actually would say yes temporarily while we increase investments in everything else, because there's not really that much viable options yet in comparison from...
If this was 25 years ago, I would have said yes, but we're too late now. We've got to transition to full clean. And yes, that includes things, and if we include batteries, like we got quite a few with doing here in Australia, That would really help with things like wind and solar.
Hell yeah, I'll support that. Should producers be required to label GMOs? Yeah.
Yes.
Should the government fund space travel? Yes, and
I
dramatically
mean, I would-
And drastically increase
NASA's budget.
current budget.
I don't think the private sector's quite ready for that yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now off to foreign
but-
policy. What were we saying, Harry?
Foreign policy. Wait.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but I would argue it's more important to like fund other things as opposed to space travel because like we ought to focus on Earth first and then like fucking space because like.
But at the same
Like,
time, we got
focus on, like,
possibly focus on colonizing Moon and Mars if need be.
Yeah.
Should the government increase or decrease military spending? Decrease.
Sharply decrease.
Should the U.S. accept?
Wait, are you guys on foreign policy?
Yeah. Should the U.S. accept refugees from Syria?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, but we should accept more than the proposed 10,000.
United Nations. I have my own stance. Yes, but reform the United Nations.
Maybe that'll be an option. Hey, should the U.S. remain UN? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I wrote yes, but reform the United
Oh, okay.
Nations.
I thought you were still on the refugee one. Should foreign terrorist suspects be given constitutional rights?
Yes, give
No,
them a
I
fair
would-
trial
yes,
and
yes,
shut down
yes.
Guantanamo Bay.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, shut down with.
Should
Guantanamo Bay.
the military be allowed to use torture to get information? No, it doesn't work.
No.
Doesn't work.
And plus, it violates the Eighth Amendment.
Oh God! Hold on, I'm going to combine a whole bunch of these.
All right. Should the U.S. increase or decrease foreign aid spending?
I'm just combining the three
Yep.
stances. There we go.
I understand.
No,
It's
torture is
fine.
an effective form of interrogation, inhumane, unethical, and violates the Eighth Amendment, and we should strictly follow the laws of the Geneva Convention.
Should the U.S. increase or decrease foreign aid spending?
I think it's okay right now. Like, I mean, I'm just gonna pick. I'm satisfied with the current amount of spending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should the U.S.
Should the
continue
US
to support Israel?
We
We should give.
Not if they bomb like Palestine and occupy them.
We should give equal support to Israel and Palestine.
Yep.
Should every 18
Yeah,
year
equal
citizen
support,
be
yeah.
required to provide at least 1 year military service? No.
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 It should be a choice instead of an obligation. Should the
There
U.S.
we go. Yep.
Should the U.S. remain
Should
in
the US
NATO?
remain in NATO. For instance, yes, but NATO needs to be reformed.
Yeah, NATO needs to be reformed.
A lot of that's
Yeah.
a lot when it comes to a lot of these is just yes,
Yep.
but insert organization here needs reform.
Yep. Do you support Obama's move
Right.
to lift travel and trade embargo on Cuba? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Which,
yes,
by the
yes,
way,
yes.
conservative retards, that actually would make Cuba be more aligned to capitalism too, and America by ending the embargo. Ever thought about that? Mind blown. Should the military flight drones over foreign countries to gain intelligence and kill suspected terrorists?
No.
I mean, no. It's not necessary sometimes. Most of the time, so like. I mean,
No, only to gather intelligence, not to kill suspected terrorists, or no, the military has no right to do so without a congressional declaration of war.
God, you can honestly combine both at the same time. And plus, you would probably
Yeah.
need and also you would need permission from the country in question too.
Yes, I'm going to do own stance, combining all three again.
Yep, exactly.
War.
no, yeah, but Timbo. At the same time, like we ought to stop policing the world. There's no fucking reason to do that. Like, why the fuck do we police the world? So I would argue,
Yeah.
like, you always got to go to Congress to get like
Yeah.
approval, or else the
Yeah.
Constitution is meaningless. So yeah.
Should the U.S. defend other NATO countries that maintain low military budgets dependent relative to their GDP? Because remember, it's required to have 2% of their GDP
Yep.
being spent towards military.
No, I mean they should spend some of their money on their militaries. They don't have to spend a lot, but like I mean, like we oughta.
And honestly, they
like, use our
do.
money.
Some of them are like some of the highest military budgets in the world still. So
No, yeah, they should, but they spend like nowhere near as America. Like, I mean, I don't think Scandinavian countries spend like that much. Like, if you think about it, so like. I mean,
Next up. Wait. I love when I press on something, all of a sudden it took me all the way back up to the top page. Now I gotta come all the way back down.
Oh god, I've done that before.
yeah.
All right, now.
I was earlier.
Should the United States pull all military... I mean, should the U.S. pull out all troops out of Afghanistan? Yes.
Yes.
Should Jerusalem be recognized as the capital of Israel?
I don't know. No.
Should the U.S. continue NSA surveillance on its allies? No.
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 Spying on our allies severely damages our reputation abroad.
Yep. Should the U.S. sell military weapons to India in order to counter Chinese and Russian influence?
I don't
No.
think that's necessary. I don't think that's necessary.
No, and we should increase
No.
diplomatic efforts to resolve conflicts peacefully.
Yep.
Yeah, the diplomacy
Especially
is
like
better, yeah.
Kashmir and the Himalayas between India and China.
Yep.
Should the government cancel production of the F-35 fighter? Yes.
Yes.
Should the U.S. go to war with Iran? No. No. I know the far right would love it.
Because war with Iran will start World War III.
I know conservatives love the idea of killing Muslims, but I don't want to start no war over something stupid.
Yeah, I don't want to start World War III.
Yep, and they deny it at all costs, remember, because they're idiots. Now off to criminal issues. Should funding for local police departments be redirected to social and community-based programs? Yes. And by the way, all you conservatives, that's what defund the police was about too. Reprioritizing funding to social programs that police are not capable of doing. That's what part of defunding the police was about. But you're
that's what.
What you're saying?
No, Timbo, that's what defund the police means. Like, take some of their money and give it to social programs, like in the community. That's what it fucking means. Like, yeah.
Should police departments be allowed to use military-grade equipment? No.
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 To be handled by higher agencies with specialized training and equipment.
Yep.
Such as SWAT.
Should convicted criminals have the right to vote? Yes.
Yes, but only after completing their sentence.
Yeah, that's fair, but we should get felons the right to vote. I mean, like most states do it, so I mean, yeah.
Do you support mandatory minimum prison sentence for people charged with drug possession? No.
No.
Should non-violent prisoners be released from jail in order to reduce overcrowding? Yes.
Yes.
Should prisons ban the use of solitary confinement for juveniles? Yes.
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 Do you support qualified immunity for police? No.
No.
Do you support limiting police unions' collective bargain power for cases involving misconduct?
Misconduct, like that can be either sexual misconduct or anything, like so. I mean,
probably yes, because they do have too much power in that regard, but still need them for other things.
They do, yeah. They do have
Should police officers be required to wear body cameras? Yes, and not only that, conservatives.
Yes.
There are many times conservatives where cops were found to be innocent too, based upon body cameras. So there's no valid reason to be against them.
Police officers and citizens.
Yeah, it's to protect everyone, so there's no reason to be against it. Should the government hire private companies to run prisons? No.
No. Private prisons will sacrifice quality of care and rehabilitation services for profit.
Yep. Should drug traffickers receive the death penalty? No.
I do not believe in the death penalty.
No. All right, now off to social issues. Jeez, we've been doing this for almost an hour, and we still got all these other topics.
Wait, social issues.
Yeah.
Gotta.
This one.
Social.
Should the government continue to fund Planned Parenthood? Yes.
Absolutely.
What's your stance on abortion?
Pro-choice. Pro-choice and providing birth control, sex education, and more social services will help reduce the number of abortions.
That's another thing conservatives. Pro-choice actually leads to less abortions. Mind blown again. Yep. Should health insurance providers be required to offer free birth control? Yes.
Yes, except for religious organizations and charities opposed to use of contraception. You oppose the use of contraception?
What?
Actually, no, I'll go yes.
Should transgender athletes be allowed to compete in athletic events? We actually might be getting. We might get to this later on when we talk about the LGBTQ issues. Remember?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
who
Yes,
fucking
but
cares,
only if
so
their
yes.
hormone levels are equivalent to the gender they compete in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that topic later on.
More complicated because there's other things
Yeah.
that can
Affect it.
leave a bit of a disadvantage. So that'll be for me personally a case by case basis.
Yeah, we'll get into that topic when we talk about LGBT discrimination. Should the businesses be able to deny service if the customer's request conflicts with the owner's religion? No! No!
No.
Not. All customers deserve to be treated equally.
As I always say, if you're providing a service to the community, you must serve everyone. Full stop. Should gender identity be added to anti-discrimination laws? Yes.
Yes, and the government should do more to protect minorities from discrimination.
Yep. Should the federal government institute mandatory buybacks for assault weapons? No, but make it very, very lucrative to accept it. Let's see if that's an option. Here we go. No, but it should be voluntary with strong financial incentives instead.
There we go.
Should universities provide trigger warnings in safe spaces for students?
No.
Well, Vosh actually talked about there's a little bit more nuance to this. It's not just like the anti-SJW stuff. Like, he argued that a lot of times at the college what were you saying?
Give me a moment.
Because Vosh said because Vosh said in the video when he went to college, there was a safe space and all that, and it was just strictly for like people to like study without being like harassed by assholes, basically. And that sounds more reasonable.
Yeah.
No, it does, but at the same time, safe spaces like they ban conservative speakers, which you do not want to do that because that's a slippery slope. It's a fucking slippery slope. You can't.
Also,
you can't
remember that progressive speakers get deplatformed all the time for their support for their opposition of Israel genociding the Palestinians.
I'll probably put depends.
No, exactly. That's the point. Like, don't ban anyone because, like, unfortunately, safe spaces like they ban people, like, which is like not okay. Like the First Amendment, like, you know. So, like,
should gay couples have the same adoption rights as straight couples? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Should businesses be required to have women on their board of directors? No.
Yes. I mean, it depends. Like,
it should be encouraged, but that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It should go to the most qualified. And also, a lot of places, women just don't want to do that stuff. Either they're not qualified or they straight up don't want to do that.
Yep. No,
but if they want to do it,
should be the most qualified regardless of gender.
Yeah.
Regardless of gender, yeah.
Should states be allowed to display Confederate flags on government properties? No.
No, it is a symbol of racism, separatism, and treason.
Oof. Yeah. Everywhere where all the idiots that have the Confederate flag around where I'm at would beg to differ on that one because they're idiots. Should the federal government require racial sensitivity training for employees?
No. No, just ensure there are clear guidelines, action, and accountability for discrimination.
Yeah, Vosh actually talked about this before, that he actually showed like studies or whatever that they're not really that effective. And they're kind of like condescending. Should the
military allow women to serve in combat roles? Yes, as long as they can pass the same physical tests as men.
Yep. But right-wingers will still...
If a woman is determined enough to get in, she'll every bit they need.
Yep,
They'll do everything they need to get in.
But even if they meet the same standards, conservatives will still say no matter what. You're supposed to be in the kitchen no matter what.
Fucking idiots.
Fucking sexist, misogynistic shit. Do you support the death penalty? No.
No, too many people are innocently convicted.
Yep.
Yes.
Should the government support a separation of church and state? Yes.
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 Should women be allowed to wear the face veil for civic ceremonies?
I mean, if they want to, like, why would you ban it? Like, makes no sense. Like,
yeah.
Why would you?
Maybe
yes, their identity must be privately verified by a female staff member. Maybe.
I mean, there's some instances where there's some instances where you need to know what the people look like. But other than that, let people, if women or anyone want to cover their face, go ahead. Should terminally ill patients be allowed to end their life via assisted suicide? Yes.
Yes.
Should hate speech be protected by the First Amendment?
Yes.
Yep. As long as it
Yes.
doesn't threaten violence.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now up to national security issues.
Wait, national security.
Should the U.S. Capitol in D.C. be protected by a security fence?
After what happened in January 6th, yes.
I guess. Should the president be able to authorize military force against Al Qaeda without congressional approval?
No, Congress should approve all military conflicts.
Yep. Should the U.S. assassinate suspected terrorists in foreign countries?
No, they should be captured and given a fair trial.
Yep. You caught up, Harry?
Oh, here we go.
Uh,
Oh, now we
it's the bottom.
hit the bottom where it talks about local issues, which of course is Maryland for me. So let's not bother with that. It's probably not going to involve either of you two. Let's go to show my results. Now, of course, it's going to take forever to analyze this crap. God, we took almost an hour just to do it as well.
What does my recording time say? 52 minutes, jeez.
Huh? Well, according to party close. I love how this pop. There we go. So let's see. Apparently, I agree 94% with the Transhumanist Party. What the fuck is that? I've never heard of that one. 93% green.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. 92% socialist, 92% Democrat. Let's see at the bottom. I agree with Republicans 16% of the time. Hey, Republicans, let's work on those 16% of issues. But I'm going to fuck you over on the other 84%.
84.
What about you guys?
92 for Greens.
So I'm more in favor of Greens. What about you, Harry?
Oh, wow, I'm even lower down with Republicans. I'm at 10%. Huh. Only
Harry?
86 transhumanists. Huh.
That's weird. You there, Harry?
Yeah, mine's loading. It's 95% done. No, it's done. It's just loading the results, I think. Yeah, like.
And Vlog, where were you when it came to the Democrats?
88.
So I agree with the Democrats more so far, and the Greens, and the Republicans, funny enough.
Yeah.
That's weird. All right, so I think that's all we could have to talk about. Anything else you want to add?
Not really.
Harry?
It's an hour and 50 in anyway, so...
All right, I guess we'll wrap it up here. See you guys hopefully soon for the next episode. We have no idea if we're going to be able to do next week or not since Daylight Savings Time and
next fortnight.
Yeah, so we'll see if we'll be able to do it in 2 weeks or so. We might have to do a different date change or whatever. So, see you guys next time.
See you next time.